Joining us now on the News at 10 to discuss non-biodegradable fuel as well as other inventions is the CEO of Green Energy and Biofuels, Mr. Femi Oye. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you for having me.
You have a smile on your face, meaning you actually do enjoy seeing, stories like Emeka Nelson's, right?
Absolutely. This is amazing.
What do you make of his invention, though, turning, waste into biodegradable fuel? Can we really turn all of that waste into fuel?
I think what we need to begin to look at is to understand that government really have a very limited role to play in evolving this new green economy. So for us to leapfrog and to move into the future that we want to see, we need to see more of people like Emeka doing this. So renewable fuels, alternative energy, I think is the direction and is the way to go today. So for this to properly work, we need to begin to align our policy with some of those components that can eventually bring about the change and in building the economy and in empowering young entrepreneurs like Emeka and other companies doing some amazing work like this in Nigeria.
Is this something also you're also doing? Because Emeka is just one of several people. We've also seen other inventions to, looking towards the future scientifically. Is that also something you're considering?
Yeah, this is called the native innovation. We have a whole bunch of organizations in Nigeria doing something similar, but then they are off the radar because for a very long time, we've not really developed the culture of identifying, nurturing, supporting. I'm not talking in terms of government alone now, because we've not really been building a proper economy. In countries like
is that really the problem, building a proper economy? I think everything seems to be tied down to money.
I think it's fundamental. Money is not a problem, really. When we're talking about innovation, you don't need money to innovate. So we're talking about free radicals like Emeka. So we have organizations like hers that convert the infested water seaweeds, water hyacinths like sawdust, and we also have organizations turning papers into different kind of other alternative use like Emeka. These people are free radicals. They don't need money to work. However, we need three basic things. We need this innovation, being the entrepreneurs that will lead this. And we also need policy. We also need the capacity, research and development. From what you've seen there, you found out that from the jungle, it's been able to recreate something that can change the world, turning water into electricity. It's amazing. And government just need to understand the impact of research and development. Let them put in money there, not just the entrepreneur first. And the last thing is incentives. So if we create incentives around organization, young people creating this, then in a space of 1 year, you'll be amazed how we can create over 1 million to 2 million people like Emeka, bringing about different innovation that eventually will create jobs, will change the way we see the economy today.
How do you think Emeka can Emeka sustain this? I mean, people like Emeka out there, can they sustain it? Those who are not attached or affiliated to any organization, some of the organizations that you're talking about, how can they sustain this without, some form of recognition or some form of help? He's doing this based on the passion that he has, and there are many people like that, free radicals, as you've described them. So how long can they, sustain this even without some form of support?
Yeah, the form that we need is to identify and get to that critical mass point whereby we can begin to scale it up. Unfortunately, frustration might come in. Others might hijack this idea, this innovative idea that he has, because there is no system in place that would protect him, that would support him. And when it gets in that there is no proper support in terms of R&D as well, because this is the first stage, so you need to take it to the next level before we begin to talk about scaling it. That's the critical mass now, before the funding now comes. So government, of course, need to pump in money, not just directly into Emeka's project, but then to pump in money into R&D, and of course to create incentives like grants that can help Emeka to scale up this innovative technology.
Mr. Femi, it's been a pleasure speaking with you on the News at 10.
Thank you for having me.